All right, gentlemen. Speaking of the Miami Heat, they'll play game 2 Wednesday, 7 p.m. Yesterday did not go as planned for the Heat. It was 14-0 to start the game for the Boston Celtics. Heat cut it to 3, followed by a 22-7 run because Sam Hauser doesn't miss wide open three-pointers in the corner. The Celtics had it up to 34 at one point. DeLon Wright gets the Heat within 14, but it was already out of reach by then anyways. And the Celtics run away with game 1.
Celtics, once again, 14.5-point favorites for Wednesday night. They closed as 14-point favorites. They were at one point as much as 15-point favorites. I think that I'm going to bet the Heat again, plus 14.5. And you may ask yourself, well, what did you see on Sunday?
Yes,
that would lead you to take the Heat plus 14.5. And I don't know. Maybe it's just an unbridled faith in Spo, the Heat culture, the Heat DNA. I understand they're without Jimmy. Do we know about Terry Rozier for Wednesday, or that'll be day by day?
I don't think he's playing on Wednesday. Maybe best case scenario, he's back for game 3, but I don't think so. It's not looking likely for game 2.
Odds, the Celtics to win the series right now are minus 20,000. The Heat are plus 1750. The odds on favorite minus 180 for the series to end Celtics 4-0. Celtics 4-1 is plus 165. Celtics 4-2 plus 1,000. I don't think it's the worst flyer in the world to take 4-2 or 4-1.
I think 4-1 is. I would bet for plus 165 4-1. I can see the Heat.
Yeah.
The Celtics shooting bad one night and the Heat stealing one.
Yeah. I mean, there was one game. Listen, you can't judge anything off one game. If you were doing that, you thought the Heat were going to win an NBA championship if you judged it only off one game Friday night against the Bulls, who, by the way, stink.
They were bad.
They stink.
Are we all in agreement that the play-in tournament is just stupid at this point? I mean,
no, I love it.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say. It finished where it would be seeded 7 and 8. That's who went on. I get you. I still like it.
But aside from that, by the way, like, I understand it. You keep teams invested in playing. Yeah. You keep fans and eyeballs on it, and it makes for great TV. So I get it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but because of those 2 play-in games, you lost Zion Williamson and Jimmy Butler for first-round series or more, 2 of the best players in the NBA playoffs on 2 teams that a lot of people wanted to watch because of Zion and because the Heat were in the finals last year, just for the same 4 teams who were locked into playoff spots anyways to make it. And I get it. In the West Coast, you had Steph Curry and the Sacramento Kings, who a lot of people wanted to watch. But for the Heat to have to go play a below 500 Bulls or Hawks team that have no business making the playoffs, I really think the NBA has to reconsider whether or not it's worth having a play-in tournament.
There's 2 more games. It's already
like, if you're still worried about the injuries, then make the regular season 70 games. If you want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're so worried about the extra game, take it off the regular season. Give me more postseason.
No, just give me the postseason. Give me the top 8 teams.
Give me more postseason. Give me more postseason, less regular season.
There's a reason why you play 82 games in the regular season to decide who the top 8 teams are going to be.
Why not make it 70, though?
Because TV revenue is more important than limiting games.
I mean, then that's there's your answer for the play-in game.
You keep 4. Obviously more than 4, because now you got to get to the 10th seed. So the 11th seed and the 12th seed are excited. So you keep half a dozen more fan bases involved, half a dozen more teams involved. The viewership goes up. Like, you just answered your own question, Solana. And it's too
viewership.
82 to 84. Come on, man. If there was 2 more full series, I can see what you're saying. It's 2 games.
I'm really sure that the Atlanta Hawks fan base and the Chicago Bulls fan base, we're just thrilled to keep watching their team, who were below 500, get an opportunity to get blown out by the Miami Heat or the Philadelphia 76ers. Really, I'm sure that was an excellent product for them.
They had a chance to win, though, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, you love watching your team play after the regular season is done. It's a ridiculous take by you, Solana.
It's not. It's really not. Hey, you
It's
have
ridiculous.
an 82-game regular season. Top 8 teams should be in the playoffs. The bottom 8.
Well, how about you make it the top 6 teams are in the playoffs?
Okay, fine. If that's what you want to do. All right, perfect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't want extra games, just make it the top 6 teams then.
Okay, perfect.
Just make it the top 2. Just go straight to the championship.
All right, just like I was back in the day. Winner of
because
the East,
you could avoid extra couple of games if you're a top 6 seed. How about you just do that for your team instead of complaining about the 9 and 10 seed who were in there, sullying your team's 8 seed or whatever they were. Why don't you just make the 6 seed?
Oh, I'm fine with that as well. The Heat should have handled business. They shouldn't have been in those playing tournament games. They shouldn't have lost to Washington at home. They should have beaten the Philadelphia 76ers and the Pacers. Like, I'm cool with that. You want to go that route, but don't tell me that Adam Silver's sitting back here saying, wow, those 2 playing tournament games were excellent. We lost Zion, Williamson, and Jimmy Butler just for the same 4 teams who were slotted in anyways to end up making the playoffs. Like, it's ridiculous. You're allowing teams to finish the 82-game regular season, now go play potentially 2 more games just to turn around and get rocked by Boston in the first round, 14-0 to start the game.
How about it gives an extra week for Giannis to get healthy? If there were no play-in games, then Giannis would miss the entire first round.
No, he wouldn't. That's ridiculous. You always, even going back to before the playing tournament game, the season ends Sunday, the playoffs start over the weekend. They always had those 5 days of rest before the NBA playoffs. Get out of here.
They get a full week of rest because the playoffs don't start immediately because the play-in games start immediately.
The playoffs never started immediately, Hawk. Look it up. The NBA season would end on a Sunday. Playoffs would start Saturday. That's how it always was. There was always 5 days of rest in between the end of the regular season and the playoffs starting. Okay.